Like SK, I don't know if that was like, has he pressed auto buy? I'm wondering. Okay, yeah, he has pressed auto buy, because that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
I was going to say, yeah.
Everybody calm down. Nothing crazy has happened. I don't know though why pros even have auto buys bound. Why don't they just remove it from their config?
I know it toasts you to no end.
I don't have any auto buys, but I don't have any F keys either. So there we go. So there'll be a quick round restore to fix that. SK in the round following this, assuming they lose this
SK,
one, I don't know if that was a good buy, and then it's really game time. Like, has he pressed auto buy? I'm wondering. Pretty close to. Okay, yeah, he has pressed auto buy, because that doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
I was going to say, yeah. As well.
Everybody calm down. Nothing crazy has happened.
Against SK,
I don't know
big
though,
name
why
in
pros
Counter-Strike
even have auto buys back. Even with Phelps in, arguably one of the favourites for the tournament, I think.
Yeah, and that's one thing as well, you know, despite it being a standard, Phelps did play with lineup for a very long time, so it is and he's also like a very high-level, very, very good professional, so it's very different to, let's say, the situation with Liquid and Zeus and so on. But back into the action, 11 to Fnatic on the CT side, 7 to SK as it currently stands, and SK indeed actually going for a full buy here. This is really interesting. Fnatic will not be expecting a full buy. They're going to play to the surprise a bit. As soon as Fnatic see all the grenades, they're going to figure out, hang on, SK have actually invested fully here. So SK investing on Banana, but so far still held on by Fnatic as they wait for the push. And SK really look like they're committed for this. Golden is going to have to be very careful. The UMP of Golden is pretty useless in that scenario. Flusher with a frag on the fall, able to fall back, able to re-smoke, able to control the flow of SK players here. And they're going to have to reconsider their approach to this round. They have no map control.
SK, worst case scenario, must plant the bomb in this round. This is a massive gamble for Spy. And even if that smoke didn't go down, Fnatic already had a third person towards the bomb site, so I think it may have been a slaughter unless the AK got popping. 2 AKs, UMP. You see Crims making his way to the high ground. I'm sure he will be expected. Still smokes and flashes for SK. They brought a lot of utility into this round. Now they're offering more suggestions. This time it is the full investment. Flusher running distraction. Crims getting a kill, and there's one for Flusher as well. The numbers dwindling for SK. Phelps, he's on fire, he's failed to jump. It might spread. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. He'll survive for the time being. He still has a smoke grenade. He can re-smoke CT. It is a risk though. He doesn't know if anybody's close. Waits for third to hold the angle. The construction one disappearing. You see Flusher just trying to distract the players as the third man rotates Lekro now in CT spawn as the bomb goes down.
Looking very scary indeed right now. Finally it does indeed go down. We have Fur who's covering, but it's so fine right now. He has to watch his back. There is a moment, a window of opportunity for Fnatic, and Flusher might just find it. Turns the corner. The refrag does come in from Fur, but that's his position known. Tries to take the 1v1, but Lekro is going to take that. And Fnatic win the retake. And as you say, James, SK, they did a lot of damage. They needed the plant. They'll get it. Not missed the jump because he had the bomb too. So that meant that his effort to plant came a lot later. And that was then construction was controlled by the CTs, and it gave a lot more space to them, where otherwise he may have been able to actually push into a different position. It could have changed everything.
Did I just see a self bump? I respect that. When you're proud of yourself, why not just fist bump yourself? So, I mean, I was going to say, like, I mean, look at the buy from SK. This is, I don't know, this is disastrous territory. I think if they'd ecoed the last round and bought here, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to be in this situation. But now they've got triple Galil, Taco and a Deagle. So, well, let's see what they can do. They've got grenades, they've got the mines for the game on their team. So if there's a team that can make this kind of thing work, SK will definitely be one of them. Clearing out the apartments. And again, going back to SK-CT side, they really tried to have a stranglehold on top of mid. And for the most part, they were pretty good at retaining it for much longer than you might expect. Can Fnatic do the same?
This is really cool to see SK. Such a high-pressure playstyle. Fnatic are the team to deal with it, and so far they are, but that's a good start from Taco. For SK, as the arch side position is being worked on continually, and it will be given up by Fnatic. SK have ours, but what do they want to do with it? Golden, refacing there. Fur anticipates the play from Library, deals with that. Knows Golden's hanging out by CT, can't get rid of him, and it's going to be SK perhaps forced onto A right now, and Fnatic should realize it. JW gets one, Crims covers for the second. Now it's all on Fur with the kill. This is far from ideal, but it's definitely ideal for Mr. JW. He held on very well. 3 frags from Pit for him. And SK are in real trouble now, James. It's 13 rounds for Fnatic. They are a mere 3 away, and they're starting to build money finally.
That is a massive round from Fnatic, and a great performance from JW and Crims, because they hadn't seen the bomb for the longest time. So you can see on your radar, Golden's going back towards the B bomb site. He's miles away from them. Yeah, they don't know where SK are committing. SK are a team who, even with 3 players left, they will suicide players to one site and make a play towards the other one. So you never quite know what is up until you see that bomb. But still, Fnatic prevail. Now SK on the pistols once again. It's been a disastrous T-half for them so far, but maybe Phelps can do something. Taken down quickly by Golden, getting a Molotov, trying to retain control of things. I don't think he'll be able to rescue the fallen weapon, but they'll try to delay SK from picking it up as much as possible.
Yeah, it's looking quite interesting now for SK. With that frag, there is opportunity as Fnatic's defense is spread thin to a bomb site, and that's something that SK can perhaps predict. I think you would expect a team like Fnatic, or almost any CT side, to just play safe in this position. You have advantages on weapons, so it doesn't matter that they can outnumber you. If you take safe setups, then you're fine. But that's also predictable in the sense SK try to play safe setups. They may actually bank on a 2-man setup in the pit position for Fnatic or something like that. We'll have to see. That is not the case. Obviously, they have you here. You've got a pixel angle on middle, and this is great for information. Falls back with the info, and one rotation can start to drift over, and that's Crims as he makes his way down Speedway. But here comes SK.
There is not a single grenade, no flashes, no nothing for Fnatic, but of course they are far better equipped. The crossfire always important. JW changing to the normal one, dancing around the pillar, and Litro uses the distraction. Crims here as well, and JW will finish things off. This was the pick of Fnatic, Inferno, and they're looking pretty strong at the moment. 14-7. Maybe a must-win map for them, and they're looking good at the moment. Finally, I think this is the first goodbye from SK in this half, and Fnatic are 2 rounds away from victory.
Yeah, I think the style of Counter-Strike that SK are playing, just like really high-pressure, aggressive style of play, I think that will work against so very many teams, but Fnatic themselves thrive in those situations, and they are playing really good Counter-Strike at the moment. So they are definitely very hard to overcome, and SK are not in a great position, to say the least. Got Fur doing his usual thing, clearing out the apartments, keeping the pressure up high at the moment. He does have Taco to play off of in the apps as well as his teammates. Phelps, Fallen and Cold take the banana area of the map. So default here from SK, and when we talk about defaults, usually it's about getting as much map control as possible before you finally make a decision as to where you want to attack. Fnatic not giving up top mid here. Re-smoking it, in fact. This will slow the round down a lot. SK have given up banana. They will have all hands on deck here in the effort to take top mid. And this could go to a battle against the clock here for SK if they're not careful, James.
SK receiving a taste of their own medicine, and the medicine's bitter and absolutely disgusting. And look at that, another re-smoke top mid. Oh no, it's not, it's a flash, ignore me. And there's a flash to the T side, boom, the first top mid. JW doing what he can, but he's got to rotate back. 35 seconds left, and there's a third man making his way towards A for the Fnatic side. Lekro moving away from the fire, avoiding the flashbangs, but can't get the kill. JW now trying to deliver, but it's all SK on the A side. They've wiped everyone out and left Flusher alone with an AWP, and he may be hunted.
Great round from SK, and you have to think about, what went wrong for the setup of Fnatic there. It seemed like, Crims was just not ready for a pop flash. Well, their setup did not incorporate him to be defended. I think, obviously, once Arch was smoked off, he didn't have anybody to essentially help him out and look away from flashes to refrag. So just good basics here from SK, and that's something you can always rely on when it comes to the Brazilians, is good basics, good fundamentals.
Phelps did not have a fantastic CT side. Only 6 kills for him, so let's see if he can pick up the slack this time. In-game leader Golden, doesn't really matter. They got 14 rounds, so all good in the hood as far as Fnatic are concerned for the time being. Now, there's a fair amount of money on the Fnatic team. Golden's got $7,000. Crims is not shy off that, so there will be a buy here from Fnatic. AWP already in tow, and they're going to pick up a second one. Double sniper rifles for the defending side. Fnatic, good amount of grenades as well. So Flusher and JW will be your snipers here on round number 23 of Inferno. 3-2 set up, somewhat standard. JW, I'm sure, will look towards this pit position, but I would say probably no further, but then it is JW after all. Would you have it any other way?
Absolutely, that aggression is so characteristic. SK, again, running a default. As we saw in the previous rounds, they have the Apartments duo, Fur and Taco. Goldfall and Phelps taking top banana. And right now, Fnatic are playing much more defensively on top mid. They have JW spotting with the AWP, but that's the only info that they would have. But they haven't got much information yet, and at the 1 minute mark, they may start to wonder, they may start to drift one player over towards B, because there is nothing happening around top mid at the moment. No pressure from SK, and they're going to go for a set piece here onto the B bomb site. Try to isolate these players, these defenders, with the smoke grenades, with the flashbangs, and here they come again. Flusher needs a good start, but the smokes cut him off entirely.
Forced out of the site. They've got good control of construction, but they've got to be really careful about pop flashes. Some more bangs from Flusher. Golden, that last bullet, getting Taco in the dome. And Flusher will continue to spam. Now, actually, maybe even cover the footsteps of his teammates as they rotate. Now, they've got nobody in banana, and oh my, Fur is flanking all the way around towards CT position. They're trying to delay them. Phelps has got one flashbang. Apart from that, there's no other delay tactics here, but Fur continues to crawl. Is anybody looking towards Speedway? Fur taking JW down, and now what do they do, Fnatic? The bomb's quite ticked. They might have to save in this situation. They're all around construction. CT's not safe, so where do they go? This is really awkward, but the round is with SK Gaming on their way to round number 10, but for now, they'll settle for round number 9. Fnatic will make it expensive for them as they exit. Only Cold Zero may be surviving.
Well, Fur, so smart this play on the flank. He knows that after he gets one frag, it's actually funny. It was a Devil Walk that used to say the threat is bigger than the action. And the threat of the flank there was so huge that, as you said, James, the retake effort was frozen, because they know that if Fur is still there, if he does try to push, the round is lost no matter what they do, so they have to withdraw. And, well, Fur is gone, playing it super safe and repositioning. Really, really intelligent counter-strike from SK Gaming as they claw their way back, grinding out rounds as much as they possibly can here. But the double AWP from Fnatic is going to be a very interesting task now to deal with, as Flush has picked it up towards the banana position. And Fnatic, a team where basically everyone can AWP.
Smoke top banana, once again. And it seems this round will start slow. 2 players in or around the pit. I think actually Echo's in the graveyard for Fnatic, so only JW is keeping an eye on the top of mid at the moment. I don't think he'll be keeping an eye on Boiler though. Yeah, it's got a tight angle there. But Fnatic are prepared for this. Lekro's keeping an eye on the short position. So let's see how SK try to move forward. They're limited on grenades. SK have got 3 flashbangs to work with here, which is not a lot at this point in the round, where they're still trying to establish initial control. Smokes towards the Arch and Library positions, and that in itself may be enough of a replacement for the flashbangs. JW flashed off the position, almost getting the frag there anyway, but not quite. Ooh, I thought that was on, but maybe he was still moving. Misses the grenade as well, forced back with 8 HP, and here come SK. The few flashbangs being deployed, but still no kills as they surround the A bomb site.
In comes Flusher from the back. Lekro gets himself 2 headshots. That's massive. Flusher around the corner. Whiffs his shot fallen. Now giving a chance to SK, as will Taco. Starting to bully their way in. Headshots everywhere here from SK as they are battling against the clock. Golden now can try to stop this from happening. 9 seconds to plant. Fur has to plant. Golden needs to win the 1v1, but he cannot. Taco. He will get it. SK pick up the round. That was a close one, a real close one.
That was absolutely mental. See the frustration start to set in for Golden there. Going for the pre-fire full spray before seeing anybody. Pretty hard to control that once somebody appears, especially slightly behind a barrel. Look at the time on the clock here. 3 on 3, 17 seconds. The bomb on the floor only being collected at when there's 16 seconds left. Really down to the wire for SK, but they made it work. This has looked like a really tough map of Inferno for SK so far, but they are only 4 rounds away, and Fnatic's money sucks. This is a round that SK should take, and take fairly easily, so you have to start worrying now if you're a Fnatic player.
Oh, absolutely, and especially I think, we saw there from JW, he was whiffing a couple AWP shots that you sort of just expect him to hit, and maybe that's, a bit of the pressure seeping in. It's very hard to say. I mean, he's one of the most seasoned veterans we have in these positions, so maybe he's just not having the best round in that situation, but hopefully we can see more from him with the AWP later on. But right now it's all SK. They are looking full of confidence now as well, especially after winning a round like that. Fnatic, they just don't have much to work with here, so the best they can hope for is just a couple kills and keep the economy somewhat honest of SK, maybe steal away a weapon. Those are the best cases they can expect to work with. And SK have showed us a lot of very disciplined anti-eco rounds already on Inferno, some of which not working out when there's a force buy from Fnatic, but you can see that is not the case here, so they should be absolutely fine.
If you go back and listen to how the AK used to sound before they updated the sounds, I'm so glad that it's been updated while we listen to all this spam, because boy was it painful.
It was, wasn't it?
Well, there we go. Lekr0 taken down. Having a look towards top mid, trying to find some info, figure out if Fnatic should be stacking the forces somewhere and getting punished for his sins. JW just keeping an eye on things, but I think he may die if he tries to get this grenade in, and indeed he will. Before he can even click on the mouse one, Fallen is there, slowly taking these players out one by one. 5 versus 2 now with 35 seconds left, and that kill will not be too concerning. Flusher left in CT spawn for the time being. Bomb will be down, and this is a pretty good round for SK.
Yeah, they are looking brilliant. Nice finish on the A site. Played it very slow, safe. Flusher, though, he could get a nice sneaky kill. Ooh, he had a chance. His chances were dashed by Cold0. Who else? All right, so the buy's back in for Fnatic. I love that they left so much money so that they could have everything they could possibly want, except maybe the AWP. But there is a concession made by JW in the interest of having a lot of utility, and that will provide Fnatic an ability to create a very slow round again if they really want to. If they read the rotations of SK well, SK have fallen on the AWP, so it would be surprising to see a particularly fast round, but he is the first man up Banana looking for any potential aggressions. And again, Fnatic, they're playing it pretty slow at the moment. They want SK to take the map control. They want SK to run those set pieces. Fnatic have done well defending some of them.
Ooh, Lekr0, I think he's been spamming the apartments. Oh, I think he shot the door or something, because Fer wasn't facing him, but Fer has taken a lot of damage in the apartments early on. The grenades early were good for Fnatic as well, maiming some of these SK players, but the Lion is not fully out of the gates. Fnatic now with a late retake. Look at this. Some Fnatic strats towards Inferno Banana. Really nice stuff from them, and it's those kind of plays, we haven't quite seen those yet from Fnatic, and at this late stage of the game, these kind of plays might be enough to take them over the line.
Yeah, it's so important. You're in a situation, you're playing against one of the best teams in the world, and you don't want to just let them walk into their perfect scenario where they can set everybody up, they have all the time in the world to throw all the grenades, execute perfectly. That's just not what you want. So great to see these basics from Fnatic, getting the pressure in, they get the advantage. This helps to mitigate the lack of an AWP and also the issue that is the lack of utility now. There's 30 seconds left, but this could really hurt SK. This has to go perfectly as they start to move in. They don't have time for any mistakes.
Counter grenades from Fnatic. Again, Lekr0 moving into a reposition, but he can't avoid the flashbang. JW will trade. 15 seconds. Again, we're going down to the wire. Fallen, he's waiting for JW. He's going for the plant, but he might be exposed. JW expecting it to be default, but it's not quite. He could have found it, but he wasn't to know. 4-on-3 retake, make it 2. Fallen taken down. Now Crimson with possession of a short position, but Phelps is still alive. Phelps now the last man standing between Fnatic and Matt Point. Sprayed through the smoke. JW all over this. And it's 15 rounds for Fnatic.
And there it is. Fnatic just playing it very slow, very passive. A small information play. Top Banana gets them the advantage, and then they just roll with that. beautiful defense here. And this is another reason why they can be quite fearsome on this map, because they can play those passive setups very effectively. When there's players darting all over the place, grenades everywhere, flashbangs, smokes, trying to deposition you, it takes a very strong nerve and great composure to try to figure out the best repositions to make and to hold true to your shots. And that's what Fnatic proved in that previous round. Flusher on the AWP now. Can expect that perhaps towards the B bomb site. Indeed, they're going to go aggressive with it. Oh, he goes for the shot. That's a miss, though. And SK Gaming are going to be very happy with that. This could have been really bad for them. But they have actually separated Flusher and Golden. If they keep the pressure up, they may be able to make a play, but Flusher's going to get out of there with the flashbang of Golden, and they will be safe, but you can't hide from Fur as Lekra experiences there towards the apartments, and now it's SK with the 5 versus 4 early into the round.
Again, the smoke from Fnatic, but SK not shy to look over the top of it. And I did want to mention that in the previous round, I think Fallen maybe was trying to make a read based on them not holding the position behind the smokers, so maybe how many players were over towards B, but there were still 5 players alive for Fnatic, so any read you make is not really going to get you so far unless you get the frags in. We reached a sub 1 minute mark, SK with a round advantage, sorry, a man advantage at the moment. And they've got smokes, they can smoke CT, try and bait some grenades, and then smoke it again if they want to. The full force is here for the Brazilian side. The smoke's being deployed. Only one player on this site, and it's Flusher with the AWP, but at this point he's got to just hold on to map control.
Yeah, he got the frag he needed to get. He didn't stick his neck out for anything else. Ooh, is he actually going to try to take a shot through here? Obviously, would give away his reposition, but he's feeling it. And those are some sort of routine shots there into spots, which would be quite likely for SK, but very cool here to see the Fnatic are going to say, you know what, we're just going to give this to you. The retake's too hard, our economy is too stretched. And that's also awesome to see, because with 4 players, they only need 1 round. So right now they're showing us that they have a really calm way of making a decision around the team and saying, all right, guys, let's just chill. We'll have a better chance in some of the following rounds. We gave up the first frag in apartments. Next time, we'll commit harder when we get those advantages, when we like our chances more. They're going to have plenty. They really want to do that. But what is the read that they have? Currently, they don't seem to have any kind of a read. Fnatic sorely lacking information. This is a very hard position to play from. Oh my god, that's heinous there! Straight through the smoke! Phelps claims JW's scalp, and now only 4 players left for Fnatic. But they're still not convinced it's going to be A. There's no rotation from B just yet. Only 2 players to defend this. It has to be phenomenal, and it is! 3 players dead as the push comes in, and now it's down to Fallen. Crim still holding onto the site, waiting for his teammate to wrap onto Crim. Oh, the flank's in there. Cold Zero saves the day, but it's a 2v2 after plant, and they are stuck in the site.
Flusher piercing the boxes, but will he pierce the players? Fallen's waiting for it. There's the flash, trying to hide behind what little cover there is. Golden and Flusher slowly coming in. No more grenades for any of these players. Sniper on both sides, but who's going to push the angle first? Fnatic, do they run wide with the first player? Just creeping in is Golden, but he can't do it. That's left Flusher in a really awkward position. Got to be fast, got to be quick. Going down to the AK now, going wide. Cold Zero, though, will take him out. Another round in the bag for SK.
That is a huge, huge round to win, of course, for SK. Keeping themselves in the game. Fnatic, they'll only perhaps have one goodbye left before an overtime situation. This is really scary right now. This round from Fnatic, they have very good money. Almost no resistance. Pretty much everything. So in this round, almost no resistance. They have one more chance to close it out in regulation. One more chance. One more chance to close it out in regulation.
That was a huge one more chance versus SK. That hasn't been easy for them. Huge play from SK. Boy, talk about hasn't been easy. It's only map one. Boy, talk about Fnatic. It's only map one. This round. Again, Fnatic said they can't invest in this round, but it's going to use every bullet of that AK, every single one. It's going to use every bullet of that AK, every single one. In European Counter-Strike, you might see in European Counter-Strike, you might see flashbangs, smoke grenades from a CT side in a round such as this to try and slow things down, to try and cause anarchy, but they can't really afford to do that, Fnatic. Their buy next round is not going to be spectacular, even with them buying almost nothing in this one. Minute on the clock for SK. Where will they choose to go? Bomb currently on Banana. They will deploy grenades once again, and these grenades have been... sometimes they've been fakes, sometimes they haven't, sometimes they've been double fakes. So Fnatic won't really know what to do with this, how to stack, etc. Will Crims be the first aggressor here? He's closer to CZ, so he can really do some damage, and there he is. Picks some perfect timing, and then he backs off. 30 seconds remain for SK.
Okay, this is actually getting a little bit scary. Crims again just toying with them. If his teammates only had some guns as well, maybe they could actually win this round, but it's hard to expect it, even though SK are against the clock. You can see they can brute force their way in, and there is no denying them in this scenario as they wreak havoc upon the bomb site. And there it is, 14 rounds for SK Gaming as they are now one away from securing overtime. They had it all up against them. They had it all so up against them with everything to play for, so confident money, with everything to play for, with all of the money, all the guns. They had nothing to lose in this situation. They now nothing to lose in this situation. But now just come to this. All those rounds back. It's been a hard fought battle. All those rounds back. It's been a hard fought battle for them. One more for them. One Fnatic can't be feeling too good about this. And Fnatic can't be feeling too good about this. Chances slip already. Be feeling like they. No AWP for Fnatic in this round. They simply cannot afford that. And also a scenario where they have all of the utility. Sacrifices have to be made.
Fnatic have a reasonable buy, all things considered. Better than I thought it might be. But do they have enough? They are very limited on flashbangs. Crims has 2 flashes, Lekro has 2 flashes. That's it. 2 of your 5 players are carrying all your flashes. That is a huge problem. That is a significant problem for Fnatic. They will start with 3 people towards the B bomb site just to deploy some grenades, and then Crims will be rotating back towards A. And SK will be slow. They will be thorough. They've caught Fnatic even through smokes when Fnatic are playing typical positions. And that may change Fnatic's approach. JW not so aggressive now at the top mid as he normally was in that corner position. SK slowly clearing out Banana for the time being. And they've left nobody looking mid, nobody second mid, nobody in apartments. They are all here on the B bomb site. But will they commit to this? 2 players. Oh, they're just going to walk in with no grenade. Shock and awe. All 5 players here. The smokes are down, but it's too late.
The SK players are in. Golden does get a frag on the further, and maybe there's a chance for that. They are forced all the way back. The contact play. Very, very strong and surprising. And use onto JW. Will they anticipate this? They're looking for it. Too obvious, perhaps. Taco deflects JW. And now Fnatic are in a horrible position, but it's the last round. They have to make something work against all of the odds here. Some flashbangs to be tossed into the side, maybe for Flusher to play with. There's one. It's going to full blind Flusher, though. as SK look very close to the full defense. Fnatic running low on time. The final push is on the site, and it is denied here mostly, but it's one player left, but not for much longer. Fallen gets it done. SK get it done. 15-15. We're going to overtime in map 1 here. Flashbangs to be tossed into the side for maybe 4. Flusher to play with. There's one. It's going to full blind Flusher though.
Well then,
SK look very close to the full defense.
Fnatic is supposed to be
running low on time.
Good.
The final push is on the site, and it is denied here mostly, but it's one player left, but not for much longer.
It did not look good for SK, but they have all the advantages. They have the momentum now.
15-15. We're going to overtime in map 1 here.
Right there.
Flashbangs to be tossed into the site for maybe 4. Flusher to play with. There's one. It's going to full blind Flusher though.
And it will be 3 rounds per round over there. But they will remain on the same sides as they finished on. So SK continue on the T side.
Like that pop flash in case of any mid shenanigans. SK looking to play out a default once again. Fur and Taco. Dynamic duo here, but look at this. Fnatic feel like they can get an opening kill. They get the trade. It's not ideal for a CT side, especially so early in the round. And we can't forget that Crimmins would have been carrying a lot of utility still. And that is utility that will just never be used now in this situation. That's why early kills onto CTs are so dangerous for the CT side. But again, knowing that Fur and Taka are always going to try to take apartments, it is always an opportunity for Fnatic. They tried it previously. Previously it went a lot worse. They just straight up lost Lekro for no trade. Now Fnatic's starting to sit 3 players towards A at the moment. This puts a lot of pressure on Golden, who is the sole man on the B side at the moment. But SK are actually going to start rotating back here towards middle.
And I wondered if Fnatic had a read on that, but Flush is making his way towards the B bomb site now, so it's a weird one because now both sites are essentially quite weak, whereas A with 3 players, I mean, they don't know where things are going, but Flusher, he may realize this as well, making his way back towards the A site, so Fnatic at some point have to gamble. It's the most pressured time to do it in overtime, where you can't really afford to lose these rounds on the CT side, but he's here. 3 CTs now. They've got nobody in the pit position, but they'll have to look for it, SK. Lekro's been taken out there so many times, so he's changed position and it's working out so far. Running distraction now, but he's only good for 1 frag. Flusher will not be detected just yet. Tackle looking the wrong way. It's working. There's 9 seconds. They've got to plant the bomb now. And there's no cover for Cold Zero. Flusher is everywhere. And Fnatic take the first round.
And that's what I'm talking about. Just how do you get those peaks? How do you stay so calm and confident? 3 kills out of the 1 clip. Amazing stuff here from Flusher.
You have to credit, though, the change from Fnatic, because every time SK executed an A, Lekro was in the pit position. The Molotov came in. He rotated underneath the balcony, looking away, turned around, got flashed, shot in the face, time after time after time. They completely changed the setup for the SK execute. SK looking all the wrong places, and that's a massive adjustment from Fnatic.
SK looking to barrage Banana with these grenades, with the utility that they have. Fnatic able to hold on for the time being though. Lots of grenades exchanged early rounds. Even more preventing forward positions from SK. That will prevent them from getting close against that wall, but they do not want to be denied. Still hanging out. Still looking for plays from Fnatic. Fnatic have abandoned the position and they actually, threatened that they could still be there. That smoke is up, obscuring the vision of SK. They're playing it very safe. SK may still invest more utility now in trying to take these 4 positions. And Fnatic are in a spot where they're just saying to themselves, you know what, we're just going to wait for you guys to continue throwing grenades. You're just wasting your utility. Obviously, SK may be looking for that. They will double back now. They do not have top middle, and this is something that Fnatic know.
40 seconds remain. Indeed, JW has not been, his position has not been compromised. That smoke's pretty crucial. He's in a good spot, so even if they try to burst through it with a flashbang, it's not quite going to work out. It seems SK are going to try and offer a fake. And, I mean, you might buy it. SK are not afraid to play very, very late round executes. JW with a great flash there, and he's putting the rotation. Crims is on the way towards the A side, but the bomb is still camping outside B. It's a full rotation from Fnatic as they try to split. How do they realize what's going on? No! They've abandoned the B bomb site. There's nobody there. They've got no idea what's going on. It's like they're running for a bus stack.
Oh no, you hate to see it. You hate to see that. The B split. Fnatic just did not see it. They did not read it. They called it for A. And now they have to retake 4 versus 2. And this is a post plant that can absolutely work out for SK. Phelps has a smoke. Taka has a Molotov. There's a flashbang as well. They have AKs. Full health. This 2v4 could really work out for SK. It's going to be a tough one though. Fnatic need to be quick. They need to use each other here. The team play's got to be on point. They're running out of time. They've got to go in right now. Lekro opens it up. Taco, can he stop this? Can Taco stop this? There's not much time. Does he have it? It's going to be so close. Oh! SK! They make it work!
They just took too long. They took too long, Dan. Lekro was on banana, and he had one flash. He could have potentially thrown his flash towards CT in front of the roof, so all the T's facing CT would potentially be blind and a gamble because they just didn't have time to wait for that smoke. Gambles have to be taken. Here we are, 16 to 16. That is an absolutely ridiculous situation, and that's high pressure for Fnatic. They can't fail in rounds like that. Even if they get sold on the fake 4 versus 2, you can't lose that round.
That's the first time SK pulled out around that can sort of turn into a fake, or it can be a B split as well. Like, you know, that's a call that you can make on the fly based on how things are going. So it's really impressive to see them able to bring out new stuff like that. Fur gets himself a disgusting opening there towards quad, but kill there from JW. Full repositioning here from Fnatic. Perhaps gambling on an A play from SK, but SK, they understand it. There's a time on the clock, they can slow things down, but Fur trying to make the play is going to have a very, very bad time. Cold doing damage though. Gets the trade onto JW. Things are starting to get weird now. There's still a minute left for SK to play this 3v3, but they want A very badly, it feels as though.
Lekro in the usual position. Phelps has a flashbang. You can see the nervousness there from Cold's mum. Very tense stuff. Lekro now trying to survive in a pit position, but they're coming for him. Taco gets taken down. The trade is there. Cold now, the last man standing in the last round of the first half. He's got to pick up the bomb. It's next to him. Flusher trying to run distraction, trying to suggest he's waiting for a teammate. Oh, that is a glorious burst, and it's Fnatic to take the lead.
Oh my God! If I was on a seat, James, I'd be on the edge of it. That's why I'm standing currently, so I don't fall off anything. This is looking really crazy at the moment. It's impossible to predict who's going to take this one. Just clutches from both teams, left and right, but it is indeed Fnatic with a 2-1 in the first half. Now switching sides back to that T side. And we did see a really good T side out of Fnatic, but we can't forget that things are so different in overtime because you've already played regulation. You've already shown a lot of the ways that you want to open up the pacing. The pacing from Fnatic was very fast. Would like the aggressive plays very much against SK initially So do they switch that up now? Do they keep things the same? And also in regulation,